How's it going? Welcome to Chats with Spencer. For interviews just like this one, full of fun and unique questions, subscribe. New videos every Tuesday and Friday. My guest this week is an artist on Twitch. She is Michelle. Michelle has a really chill vibe. Her stream is just so relaxing, and it's really interesting to hear the creative process she goes into when she is doing her art. Please check out Michelle's stream, link in the description below. So sit back and enjoy my interview with Michelle. All right, Michelle, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a regular Thursday. How about you doing?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad, thank you. All right, Michelle,
Okay.
so I'm just wondering, could you tell us maybe a bit more, just in terms of, where you grew up, what kind of kid you were, and just like some of the interests you had as a kid, and, kind of fill in a little bit of the gaps too between like then and now. Not everything, but just some.
Okay. So I grew up kind of partly in China, and when I got to around like grade four, like about the age of 10,
Hmm.
I spent the rest of my childhood then in South Africa. What was the other question? Like what kind of interest that I had?
Yeah, and like the kind of kid you were as well.
Oh, okay. So as a kid, I guess I was a little bit awkward, or rather, should I say, very awkward. Kind of struggled to, yeah, really, really struggled to
Okay.
communicate with
Hmm.
friends and classmates, and also like struggled a little bit to make friends in the first place. But
Okay.
I just, it's not like I was struggling. It was more like I much preferred being by myself.
That's fair.
Yeah, and like my grandparents would occasionally take care of me, so they would
Hmm.
just let me run around by myself. So being a kid, when you like used to being alone, you just kind of like and I've always liked doing well, being that kind of person. I've always liked doing things by myself, which is like to draw or to read books or to like think about things. Like ever since as a kid, I've always had the tendency to ruminate or spend a lot of time in my head.
Hmm.
And then I guess like when I grew up, right, like in South Africa, like I was a little bit more outgoing as a kid then. Um, I did a lot of nerdy stuff, like being in the chess club, and I don't know what else. And I got into games and anime, I guess, at a relatively late age. So when you grew up in China, like anime is like very prevalent
Hmm.
in media and stuff. And then when I got to South Africa, I some part of that got severed,
Hmm.
and then when I got back into anime and manga again, which is around about like eighth grade. I also got into games as well, and then that's when I realized like how much I've missed that part of my life.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Can I
Um,
ask you,
what else?
so,
Sorry. Yeah.
just in general, in terms of anime and games, what are the ones that kind of like resonate with you from your childhood?
Yeah. So like when I was like really really small, like Sailor Moon was big on
Hmm.
TV.
Okay.
Like everyone can like remember well, I mean not everyone, but like people from that period could remember like the opening scene, like
Oh
the
yes.
opening song,
Hmm.
that and
100%.
like yeah, right. Also like Dragon Ball, like
Hmm.
like I think like especially for millennials or people our age,
Hmm.
people grew up with like the same kind of shows. Like
Yes.
there was Yu-Gi-Oh, there was Dragon Ball
Hmm.
Z, there was Digimon, I guess, and
Pokemon, I
there
guess
was
too.
Beyblade,
Yeah.
and yeah, Pokemon. But the most definitive one for me was actually Cardcaptor Sakura.
Okay.
It's still one of my favorite series to read. It's made by this group called Clamp, and they're just a group of four female artists that have been making like these like slapping like manga titles
Hmm.
since like the 90s. They still work. They still quite prominent now. It's just like I guess there's a lot more other series that people
Hmm.
have to look at. But yeah, they really, I think Cardcaptor Sakura was like a definitive point where I'm like I'm obsessed about this. I will read up about this for the next like
Hmm.
5 years, because back then you just don't have that much to distract you with.
Hmm.
So that was my main obsession. Yeah, and I did so much fan art of it. I can still like draw this stuff probably from memory.
And in regards to games, anything that stands out to you?
Yeah, so the I guess the gateway drug to games is Final Fantasy X. My
Oh,
parents, yeah. For a lot of people, yeah, I think Final
mm,
Fantasy X was one of their favorites. My parents didn't allow me to own a PlayStation, so
mm,
I would go and hang out at my neighbors who have a PlayStation
mm,
2, and I would watch them play. So this is like before Let's Plays were
mm,
popular.
mm,
And I was always happy like watching, right? Because I feel like you can enjoy the story more and you can enjoy
mm. Oh yeah.
the art more when you're not
Mm-hmm,
distracted by uh, battles and whatever. So yeah, Final Fantasy X really it was amazing. I dreamt about Final Fantasy for like weeks on end. That was
mm-hmm.
how obsessed I was about it. Yeah.
Final Fantasy X is the Final Fantasy game for me. That was the one that like
Really?
I played all of them. I mean, not all of them. I played eight when it came out, I guess. Nine when it came out. I didn't really play seven when it came out at first, but 10 was the one where I was like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah, this is it. This
get
is it,
into
you
it.
know?
And yeah, it's like till this day, I hear To Xanarkin and it gets me. It's just that
Yeah,
song is
it's
so beautiful, especially on piano. I really like just the piano covers of them.
and it like just brings shivers, right? Just when you said
Hmm.
like to Anakin, I'm like my mind goes that dun, 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 and I'm like
Yeah,
like
anybody who's
that's
played the
like the
game knows that
chills.
song.
Yeah,
It's beautiful regardless, even if you don't play that game.
yeah. I mean it's strange, right? Because for a lot of people, their favorite Final Fantasy is the first one they play. So
Hmm.
when you mentioned that you played eight, but you weren't that into it, it's like okay, like I don't think for a lot of people, I don't think eight was their favorite, but for some people, nine was one
Hmm.
of their favorites. But yeah, 10 is very popular on
Hmm.
people's top Final Fantasy.
Let's talk maybe about a couple of your interests outside of art. I know in
Okay.
previous interview you mentioned cooking and like tending to plants. So like, how
Yeah,
did you kind of get into those?
I guess a lot of okay. So, if you asked me those questions before the pandemic, it might have been a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when I was still commuting to work, I used to love listening to audiobooks because I just
Hmm.
couldn't squeeze in time to read physical books. So I
That's
would
fair.
spend that
Hmm.
time reading like a decent amount of listening to a decent amount of audiobooks. And I liked hiking a lot. If I got a chance on the weekends and I had the energy to do it, then I would go
Hmm.
and do like not like intense hikes, you know, like some
But
people
like
do like
enjoying the scenery
scrambling.
while walking.
No, it's still challenging to be
Okay. Okay.
fair. I think like the prettiest sceneries are the ones from high up, and you
Hmm.
kind of have to get high up.
Hmm.
But it's not like 45-degree angle
Okay,
like
that's fair.
all that way.
Hmm.
It might be 45-degree angle like 10% of the way.
Okay.
um, so I really enjoyed that. But since the pandemic happened, I think a lot of us had to shift, find different ways to entertain ourselves. And luckily, I'm not that keen on watching Netflix and anime
Hmm.
all day. So I turned to cooking more. I've always enjoyed eating good food. I've always enjoyed actually like spending a bit of time and effort on food, but now it's
Hmm.
becoming like a weekly thing rather than
Okay.
like yeah, rather than like a every holiday thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's really it's good to I think like spend a little bit more time think about what I don't know, like rather than following the recipe, I guess like trying to think about like what kind of food appeals the most to
Hmm.
you and how you can like cooking is like to me it's like a more feeling thing. Like you can
Yes,
use the recipe as a guideline, but you just like,
for sure.
like soy sauce, like salt, whatever, like whatever to your tastes.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I haven't baked bread yet, so maybe that would be next on the list. It's just so much
Okay.
effort. And plants, okay, so similar thing, it's also like a pandemic hobby that I have gotten into. And yeah, have you got plants?
Not really. I'm one of those people who I think the ones I have or I've had in the past are just the ones where you have to water like every once in a while. But if it
Do you know
was
what they called?
not sure. I think I had an aloe plant for a bit.
Oh, okay. All
But
right. So
something,
they're
yeah,
more
like just like yeah,
succulents.
more succulent towards that kind of thing. But
Okay. Okay. Oh, I mean that's fair. It's a good gateway
yeah,
plant.
my grandma and grandma and great grandma, I think, had a spider plant, and they kept on making more spider plants. So I just that's like a very vivid
Ah,
memory of my childhood, like them hanging in
okay.
the windows.
And then like every so often you'd see like a spider plant
Yeah,
baby, and then
exactly,
you're like,
exactly. Just replant it, and you
okay.
got infinite spider plants.
It's just like question mark, then profit, you know, you're
Yeah,
like
exactly.
grow spider plants. That's so funny. Yeah, I actually do have a spider plant. So the thing is like the plant thing is more like a recent obsession. I've had plants for about like 4 or 5 months now.
Okay.
And I was initially put on like this kind of embargo on buying plants because I had like a really terrible history of killing all the plants I've
Okay.
touched. And it's nothing. There's nothing sadder than like having like a really nice plant enter your house and then you
Hmm.
just take this husk and dried out thing
Yeah.
like outside.
Hmm.
Um, so anyway, started off with some really easy plants. Got some pothos, which is like a leafy plant. It's like a
Okay.
viney plant. It grows really easily on. It thrives on neglect actually, and and then I have the Sansevieria cylindrica, which is like a spiky snake plant.
Okay.
It's not like the tongue kind of snake plant. It's like a spiky boy. And then I've got like some recent additions as well, which is like mostly, I think, you know, the strange thing is I was never into plants. My mom was the one that was obsessed with them. She's
Hmm.
got like this amazing vegetable garden that she gets
Hmm.
regular harvests from. It's incredible. And I always thought it was like, oh, not such a waste of time, you know, but better stuff to do. But there's actually something very therapeutic about nurturing something.
Hmm.
It like kind of from nothing, you know, it's just dirt,
Yeah, I know for sure.
like this plant, and then you're like infinite plants. What happened? Like,
Mhm. Exactly.
yeah.
So Michelle, maybe you can tell us a bit more about your like art origin story. Was it just something that grew into? Was it something that you were always kind of doodling as a kid? Just the story behind that.
I think you know, it's hard to tell when I started doodling, but I have very early memories of like, you know, like you get picture books, right? Because my parents were English teachers in China.
Okay.
So I guess they would leave around picture books for me to like learn the English
Hmm. Hmm.
alphabet. And I remember there was this one book that had like clowns posing as the English alphabet, right? Like A, B, C,
Hmm.
you know, and they would make these poses.
Okay.
Like, and I remember like drawing them because, you know, like I just kind of like saw the pictures and then I copied them. And I think a lot of kids do this too, actually, but maybe like some more than others. And then I remember I saw this one movie. I don't know if you have any memory of it. It's this really bad like American movie where it's a family of aliens that come down to Earth and they
Is it
all have these
Coneheads?
like,
Yeah,
it's
Coneheads.
probably cone heads,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
I've seen it.
remember they have like a teenage daughter or
Hmm.
like a young daughter.
Hmm.
So I saw that movie with my mom and her students who were obviously learning English. That's why they
Hmm.
were watching the movie. And I drew the the conehead teenage daughter
Hmm.
with her like with a little like, I don't know, butterfly bow
Hmm.
across her cone head. And that, I think that was like my first memory of a fan art. Cause like I was like, I want to draw it so I can show you guys how well
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
draw. And then obviously my mom's students were like, wow, you did so well. Right. So I think that was like what I was like 6. Like, I don't know. Like it, I think I've always been doodling. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but okay, but the thing is like my parents never really encouraged it. Like they tried to send me to Chinese calligraphy, you know, like the whole
Hmm.
like using paintbrushes to draw
Hmm.
animals, but
Hmm.
it's actually very advanced. Like I don't actually recommend kids doing that because the Chinese calligraphy way of drawing animals is that it's a very minimal way of representing like something,
Okay.
like like drawing like a rooster but like
Mm-hmm.
in three strokes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually really difficult for someone who's just new like into
For
art
sure.
and they've just been using pencil to draw anime characters to do something like that. So I had no interest in that. I think I like skipped the second class, never went back. And they just kind of like do your homework. This is probably like, yeah, it's probably not something you want to do. And then when I okay, so I drew quite a lot,
Okay.
since my rediscovery of anime
Mm-hmm.
and Final Fantasy X.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, if I can find my Final Fantasy X, like I did a really cool Lulu fan art, like the one where she's standing and then she's holding the Moogle.
I believe so. Yeah, yeah.
Like it's one of like the promotional arts,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
and
can
I
picture it right
think
now.
yeah. So it was like incredible because I drew like all the lace and stuff
Mm-hmm.
on her dress. I did that in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and then I drew a lot until like final year high school, and then I had to make the decision to
Mm-hmm.
study art, or do
Mm-hmm.
I go into engineering, I guess. No, there was like I was very unsure. There were other choices. It was medicine,
Mm-hmm.
it was computer science, which is programming, then there was engineering, then somewhere in there was animation. And then my
Okay.
parents looked at all this nonsense and they were like, okay. So it's not like they told me straight up no, like
Mm-hmm.
don't do art. They were just like, maybe, maybe you should consider like something
Mm-hmm.
that's like maybe less crazy than art. So, and also like keep in mind art school wasn't cheap, right?
Okay.
Like it's strange, but from what I have experienced, like art school tends to be quite pricey compared to other
Interesting.
degrees. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Like the maybe they have less years of study, but the amount you pay per
Mm-hmm.
year is like comparable, even more expensive than STEM fields.
Oh.
So my grades were good enough, unfortunately. Like I wish they were bad, so I didn't have to make a choice. But got like a scholarship in like the one university, and then I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I guess I'll do engineering then. Right. So when I was studying undergrad, it's quite intense, and looking back, I didn't enjoy it that much. It was
Mm-hmm.
challenging, but kind of in the wrong way. So I did that for 4 years, got like more and more stressed every year. Then fell into like a bursary with a company, and I did that again. And it's not like I totally didn't enjoy these. I really enjoyed the challenge,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it was just it drew a lot of me. It took a lot out of me. So I didn't have any time during that period to focus on art at all. I basically didn't like pick up a pencil, didn't even doodle. Um, and yeah, I only started drawing again in like 2017 when I
Okay.
was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, it's not working out, like there's
Mm-hmm.
something missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Michelle, what's one thing about you that people might find surprising? So it could be a hidden talent or just an odd interest, something along those lines.
I think they might find surprising that I have a very short temper. um I like I don't know, like it's like if generally I try to be courteous to people,
Hmm.
like I will never attack someone personally. But if I find that like they I guess overstep boundaries or
Okay.
something, then I'm very like immediate, like no, like you got to stop,
Mm-hmm.
like for example with the Twitch chat management, right? Like when I stream, like if
Mm-hmm.
someone says something inappropriate, it's not like haha, like it's like, hey, this is like a verbal warning, you got to stop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think people get like a little bit taken back, and I'm like, I guess because I'm a little bit older on the years, like I consider myself a bit of a boomer on the internet, but I'm like, yeah, it's just I'm not gonna deal with your nonsense here.
I mean, it's fair, but it's just funny because you seem very calm. So I guess, like you said, it's like the switch, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's not like I don't think I'm ever mean about it, but I'm
Hmm.
very like I try not to leave it open for interpretation.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Michelle, if you could travel to any period in the past, just to
Okay.
visit, what time period would that be and why?
Any period, not just in my
Yes.
life.
Yes, any period throughout history, prehistory.
Oh, I think like too early is like probably like if I can speak the language, I would like to go to like Renaissance period, like when like Leonardo da Vinci
Hmm.
and Michelangelo and all the big artists were like just like coming together,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
I don't know if they were like truly social like we are
Hmm.
currently in our modern times, but they had a lot of um I guess like studio places where students came and studied from them, and they spent a lot of time uh, doing their thing. Like Da
Hmm.
Vinci just, ran away from his commissions and was like, "See you in 10 years. I'm going to study this thing," kind of thing. And he took a lot of time to really hone his craft, and I think his true passion was to learn stuff, like not to share. It was just like to learn stuff, and it was cool because back in the day the artists had the luxury, I guess, of taking their time. I would like to see what it's like, when you really give someone time
Hmm.
to just hone their craft. And then I guess another period I would like to go into is Japan during the bubble period.
Okay.
I don't know exactly like which years they were, but I know like during that time, like the economy boomed, and they had this amazing, really vibrant scene for animation.
Okay.
Like you see like some of the most like technically astounding animes, and just purely experimental but totally fun. Like Akira came out of there.
Oh, okay.
I think Angel's Egg came out of there. Yeah, it was just a lot, and it's just like people just, I guess they were given the budget to
Hmm.
be free. Like that's kind of like in a similar theme. I'm like nowadays I feel like there's this um like scarcity mindset, like like people feel squeezed, like, and then
Okay.
you have young artists that go, I've got to draw every day, I'm going to post on social media every day, and so I can just get a job at this animation studio that is going to, I don't know, do what exactly. It's just so I can draw for a living.
Hmm.
Whereas imagine like not having to worry about that, like being assured like a pretty well paying job, but just like do the coolest thing you can. I think
Hmm.
that would be something I'd like to see.
Michelle, we're going to
Mm.
switch pace just a little bit. There's just less in-depth questions, just a few of them, but you can feel free to
Okay.
stop me if you want to elaborate. Do you have a
Okay.
favorite sports team?
I don't watch a lot of sports, no.
It's fine. It's actually funny. I'm actually contemplating whether I should have this question or not because so many people I ask don't even watch
Okay.
sports.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just the
Okay.
people I'm picking, but it's okay.
Okay. Okay.
Cats or dogs?
Oh, that hurts, but I have to pick cats. Yeah. I like how soft and fuzzy they are, but I like dogs too. But cats wouldn't just by a hair. Yeah.
Spring or fall?
Oh, spring for sure. I love how. Do I have to substantiate my answers
You can
or?
if you want. Like, feel free.
Okay. Okay. Um, like spring is when you can see like everything like waking up. Like I'm
Hmm.
talking about plants wise, and it's amazing. I mean, fall is great, but it's a little bit sad to see everything dying again. Yeah, to for the winter season. Yeah.
That's fair.
Hmm.
All right, Michelle, you're getting the Canadian question because you're in Canada. M&Ms
Uh,
or Smarties?
M&M's or Smarties. Why is that a Canadian
Because
question?
in the States they don't have Smarties. They call like Smarties are not what we think they are in Canada. So my like general world question is
But they
M&Ms
the
or
same
Skittles.
like they the same like candy coated chocolates, right? Are we talking about like because
Well,
we've got Smarties in South Africa. I don't know
yeah,
about
it's
Smarties in
not. Yeah,
Canada.
there's certain places in the world that have Smarties. I think the UK has it. I guess South Africa has it, but the US does
Yeah,
not have them. So that's why
that's so weird. So what did they have? They only
they
have
just
M
have
and M's.
they have M&Ms. They have something called Smarties are something they call them differently. I think we call them rockets in Canada, but they're like hard, like sugary candy. I think
For sure.
that's what
Okay.
they think they are. But the actual question that I like came up with ages ago was M&Ms versus Smarties. Obviously, those are very close to each other, right? So it's just preference.
That's so funny because when I first came to Canada, sorry, I'm getting a bit
No,
off
it's
track.
okay. Go for
When
it.
I first came to Canada, I was so confused at like the huge amount of products because back in South Africa, you would only have one or two
Hmm
suppliers of
hmm
things. Like you would have Cadbury's for chocolate,
hmm
you would have like this place for spices. You have
hmm
this, and here it's like there's like 10 different freaking suppliers and brands for
hmm
like for curry pack, and they all kind of taste a little bit different actually. So it's like, yeah, but anyway, I know what M&Ms and Smarties. I'll have to pick Smarties. That's also like a South African favorite. I don't know if that's the wrong answer.
It's all preference. It's
Oh,
okay.
okay. I was like,
uh,
okay.
what movie? One of your favorite movies?
One of my favorite movies. Um, I have to look at the Studio Ghibli stuff again. Pakaraso. I don't. A lot of people don't know Pakaraso. Do
Now
you
I've
know
been.
it?
Now I'm not sure off the top of my head. I might know it if I saw the poster, maybe.
It's the one with the pig. He's a pilot that got cursed and turned into a pig, and he flies planes. Like that's
It
basically the
sounds
the story.
interesting.
That's basically the story. He's
Okay.
just there's nothing else to the story. That's why I like it so much because
Mhm.
it's simple. There's not like this whole mission to save the world. There's nothing grandiose about it. But there's something behind the message that I appreciate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Michelle. If your next meal could be anything in the world, what would it be?
Oh, I haven't had fried chicken in a while. I'll take fried chicken, like buttermilk fried chicken. Like I've
Hmm
been told that I think Southern fried chicken is
hmm
where it's at. I
hmm
haven't had it. Apparently, like I'm supposed to go to DQ for some
I
Southern
don't know
fried
about
chicken.
that. I'm not gonna.
Oh, okay. But fried chicken on waffles. I've never had that. I've seen
Okay.
pictures.
Okay.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
you would find that out in the West Coast
I
because
yeah,
we have chicken waffles in Toronto. So
but like good chicken waffles. They're like I don't
reason
want to.
I think it's I don't know if it's like 100% authentic, but like places dedicated to chicken waffles. Yes, we have restaurants like that here.
Well, yeah, because it's been hyped out so much for me. It's
Hmm
like this, like kind of legendary food. I don't want to spoil it for the
That's fair.
first
That's
time.
fair. Yeah, like get the like from the source, and then you can kind of have more there. So
Right.
that's
Okay.
fair. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, I didn't have an idea.
Hmm
When I was little, this is so like stupid, but when I was little, okay, so my parents were teachers, right? And I
hmm
didn't want to be anything like that because they'd have to be beholden to like this schedule. Like,
Yes.
they
Oh
have
yeah.
to like go and teach classes all the time. But then somewhere in my brain, I was like, what if I just become like a 9 to 5 thing?
hmm
Then I'd work within those hours, not knowing how ridiculous it was
hmm
for 9 to 5. Because like 9 to 5, as you know, it starts to expand.
Yes, it's
Um,
never 9 to 5.
yeah, exactly. It's always like something like 8 to 6 or
hmm
like 9 to 7. So it's like, yeah. So back when I was a kid, I thought if I go to an office job, I'll be able to limit my hours,
hmm
which is not true. But yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I don't think I've ever heard that answer, but
No, it's just basically like, oh, I just want to be a 9 to 5 so I
yeah,
can
just like
sit
the
sit
idea of
and
just
chill.
set hours, you're good to go once you're out of work, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Like I don't know why I had that idea.
Michelle, what's your go-to convenience store snack?
Go to what?
at a convenience store. Like if you just go to the corner store and you're
Okay.
like, oh, I'm kind of hungry, what would your snack be from there?
Oh, this is like Chinese store slash Asian grocer, but it's
Hmm.
mostly Chinese. They have these mochi things. Like I like sweet stuff. Okay, I have equal preference in
Okay.
savory, spicy, or sweet stuff. So they have this like mochi, which is like it's the Chinese mochi, not necessarily the Japanese mochi, and it's filled with these chunky red bean paste. I like that a
Okay.
lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite childhood TV show?
TV show. Probably Captain Sakura, but I really enjoyed like the original Dragon Ball, like before Dragon Ball Z. Like this
Yeah,
is like a little baby Goku.
times were simpler then, right? When Goku was just the most powerful, or like very close to the most powerful.
Well, I
They're
mean,
simpler though.
even before then, when he was a kid and he was just like huge pervert, I don't think people remember that part. Like,
There are a lot of perverts on that show, I think.
oh, true, true. Gosh,
Like
yeah.
Master Roshi was like super pervy, right?
Okay, no,
Even.
but that was his like archetype. Like,
Mm,
it's
mm.
kind of like Jiraiya from Naruto,
Okay.
but Goku as a kid was a like perv. I don't. Yeah, I don't think people remember that part. But yeah, it was a much simpler time then.
Let's see. Who is your favorite artist?
Favorite artist?
Mhm.
Once again, it's so hard to pick. Um, I think I'll do a lot of people the service if I just say Loish, because everyone likes Loish, but
Oh,
there's like
okay.
some
Hmm.
amazing artists out there
Hmm.
that I don't remember. Like I was just looking at Eliza Ivanov. Can't remember her surname.
It's okay.
But people know her as Eliza. Like she's
Okay.
got this fantastic style. I love Angela Sung's work as well. Like she does these fantastic paintings. Then there's Heavy Polly. I don't know what his real name is. I think it's Vaughn Ling, or maybe that's a different person. But they both worked on, Spider Verse.
Yes.
Yeah, so both worked as first dev slash background paint
Oh,
artists on
nice.
Spider Verse. Yeah, like it's that like kind of very like realistic look,
Hmm.
but it's actually stylized.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So also, I don't know if you know the Netflix show Love Death Robots.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Oh really? Okay. If you have Netflix, I highly recommend
Okay.
giving that a check. Yeah, it's a bunch of experimental animation shorts because they worked on one of those called The Witness, and it's one of my favorite episodes from the series. So it's like none. It's not connected. It's just
Hmm.
like they were given, here's some budget, go and do like a fun, quick story, and people
Okay.
ran with it. Yeah.
What's your favorite piece of art that you've done?
Uh, Probably like it's kind of sad because that's almost like a year ago. I still like the Witcher one that I did.
Hmm.
It's okay, so this is based, it's actually like it was a study based on um the Netflix Witcher show,
Hmm.
and there was a scene where it was like super green, and Geralt was leading Roach to drink in the river, but it was like basically think of like a river in the middle,
Okay.
and then there's trees on the side, and it's everything super green and super lush. So I did that one, and for some reason it just turned out really well. Like it's one of those things I still really really like
Hmm.
it. I was just remember like these things. I need to link you, but yeah, I'll send you a picture of that
No, for
one.
sure. Like all the things you're mentioning, just send me the picture and I can put it in post. Just like put them on the screen.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what I promised you, but okay, that's. I'm writing it down now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll let you know what you mentioned.
Okay. Because I was like, okay, I remember the wallpaper. I remember like maybe I need to
Mm.
link you some of my favorite artists that I mentioned. I'm not sure what
Yeah, no, we'll
else.
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. Then.
okay.
Okay.
If you were to try another medium of art, which one would it
Mm.
be?
Uh, I've been like playing around with traditional art, which is like the gouache painting, watercolor
Hmm.
painting, like the more like hands-on analog kind of art. But I think if I were to go completely out, it might be something to the form of animation or
Mm,
3D
okay.
work.
Okay.
Those two could like be combined because I don't have the confidence I'll be able to learn 2D animation quickly. But for sure, like 3D combined with some like animation in 3D.
Okay. Top five anime.
Oh, five. Jeez. Like the thing is, when you're asking these questions, like I have not been like consuming that much like
That's fair.
media, so it's like okay, I don't know. Top five anime, like TV series anime.
We'll say they can be movies as well.
Well, I don't want to like keep saying the same movies I had again, right? So
Yeah, maybe like stuff that you haven't mentioned.
yeah, yeah. Cells at Work was actually pretty fun.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just thinking of things that it comes up to my head. There is a Silent Voice, um, by Kyoto Animation. That's a movie and it was really really good. Then I guess Demon Slayer was really fun
Hmm.
too. Um, like not in the story because I felt like it was such a short story, but the way that that studio brought like action from like like the manga I felt like was drawn okay. Like
Hmm.
it wasn't like I felt like it wasn't the most technically strong manga artist out there, but the way that the action scenes were translated from that into 2D animation was like insane. I know they also used 3D elements in there.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. It's been like I'm like so many seasons behind, right? Like
It's okay. I mean, we
I
can
might
leave it
have
at
missed
that.
like some shows.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Oh, and sorry.
no problem.
Um,
Go.
what's the name? This is another one. Is it Beats or something? You know the one with the four girls like playing.
Beats. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Um, it's like four schoolgirls playing like uh, it's K-On. Yeah, it's K-On.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like four schoolgirls playing instruments. And then there's another one. It starts with it's Angel Beats. That's the one.
Angel Beats. Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
And next question, just I'm not gonna give you a number, but just some of your favorite video games.
Favorite video games. Okay, so that one's a little bit easier to answer. Been playing more games. Stardew Valley for sure. Also like a big Monster Hunter fan, but
Okay.
it's a big time sink. So for me to be good, it takes a lot of time. So probably yeah, yeah. But I used to spend like a really I must have like 1,000 hours on my Switch. I mean, not Switch, 3DS.
Okay.
Sims, but the original one. I really enjoyed like the first Sims,
Hmm.
uh, and then obviously the Witcher series. I mean, not the Witcher series, just the Witcher 3.
Hmm.
And then I really like Surf, like any of the Surf, um, is a part of like the Sid Meier's series. And then I really like most of Larian Studio stuff, like Baldur's Gate 3 that they've just released in early access. And they also have Divinity Original Sins 2, which is like all the RPG stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, it's like mostly I prefer like single player RPG. It's like it's fun.
All right. So this next question is, if you could remake a piece, like an art style of maybe like a game, an anime, a book, or just something with like some visual art element, but it's in your style, what would it be?
It's yeah, I don't really have like a style to think of. I think I'm still far too early in my
Hmm.
art journey to say like I've got a very distinct style. If I were to remake something in my own style, um, there's this game called like it's an indie game. It's called Assemble with Care.
Okay.
It's a very cutesy like it's actually like made for the iOS, so you can like assemble like broken tape recorders or something,
Hmm.
but with like the touchscreen. So it's fun because you get to like unscrew and screw
Oh,
things.
okay, interesting.
Yeah, because like it's like so for example, like they're like, oh, this tape recorder is not working. So then you
Hmm.
press the button and it opens. So you take out the tape recorder and
Hmm.
then I mean, sorry, you take out the tape
Hmm.
and then you like stick a pencil in there and then you like,
Hmm.
it's all very fun and very tactile. I would like to, yeah, that would be cool to remake in that style because it's a very minimalistic style. I think it's very appealing for what it is.
Hmm.
Just I saw like some I guess backgrounds and I was like, it would be nice to do this to the background. I know like the background's not like the focus of the story, but it'll be cool.
And I was just wondering if you could share maybe a little bit about your Twitch story and just give people a quick idea of what your stream's kind of like.
So Twitch happened because when I decided to get into art or when I decided to I guess I didn't really elaborate it on this podcast, but so when I quit my job because I was like tired and I didn't want to, like I just felt like I was maybe like working towards something that I wasn't too proud of.
Hmm.
Um, so when that happened, I um, was really kind of unsure about which direction I want to go. There's like so many things you can learn about art, and there's like so many, I don't know, pathways you can go into. Even if
Hmm.
you decide you want to be an artist, you can be a fine artist, you can
Hmm.
be
Hmm.
this and this. So I decided to start streaming so I could share my like my fuck ups. Sorry,
It's okay.
my frick
All good.
ups on stream, and uh, and also like not feel lonely and try and meet other people and
Okay.
then maybe try and like figure out what I want to do by looking at other people's work. So when I did that, well, when I realized that, then I realized, like Twitch is somewhere where it's like it's to foster like kind of a community,
Hmm.
but it's not necessarily my community. It's just like Twitch art is a community,
Hmm. Hmm.
and a lot of people, I guess, lurk on Twitch art, but I think you get the full experience if you stream as well, because in a way, there's like more personality attached to it, right? Like when people are saying, "Oh, I like your art," it's a different thing to when you say, "I'm sharing my art."
Mm, okay.
Yeah, and I guess my streams are mostly a little bit nonsensical sometimes. Like it's like a lot of it's for fun.
Hmm.
Like sometimes it's educational. Like I've got this channel reward that you can redeem to paint over um like a critique
Oh,
thing.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, so if people want they can sometimes, like I don't know what to critique, then I'll just like say like I
Hmm.
don't know, like I'm still learning because we all still learning, and
Hmm.
I try to invite people to like give like any question or to ask any questions, or if they see anything that I do, like to like call like give suggestions. But
Hmm.
it's a fine balance because you don't really want people to like I guess backseat drive
Yes.
art,
Hmm.
but it's also like sometimes it's cool to hear what people think, so
Hmm.
I try to kind of encourage that. Yeah.
Yeah, for anybody who has not watched like a fine art stream or like an art stream or Michelle's
Mm-hmm.
stream, it's really interesting because you get to see the insight of the creative process, and I like that you're verbalizing your thoughts, like each stroke, and just really for me who's not an artist, it's really interesting to hear that insight. And just as for Michelle's stream in general, you can tell she's a pretty chill person. So I think that's a really good vibe. Like it's really just it's like hanging out with your friend, kind of. That's the vibe I get from Michelle's stream.
Yeah, it's when you put it like that, it's like a co-working stream. Like I
Mm-hmm.
am sharing my process, but I'm also, asking people like don't
Mm-hmm.
spend too much time in chat, like try to do something cool.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you can use my stream as like a focus point,
Mm-hmm.
then that's great. Otherwise it's like, I guess like you say, it's a bit more of like a stream of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working in, and I'm also saying things that I'm thinking that might help other people if they're trying to learn from my art.
All right. Michelle, is there anything you'd like to achieve in your lifetime? And this is not limited to Twitch or art, just in general.
I have like I guess a pretty big goal at the end of it.
Okay.
It's not just like, like life isn't, to me it's not just about earning enough money so you can cover your bills so you
Mm-hmm.
can retire. So I want to um I haven't quite verbalized this clearly yet in
Okay.
my head,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to kind of promote the importance of art. Like I feel like a lot of the times the creation like process, like it's heavily um focused on by creatives, right? Like the
Mm-hmm.
creatives will rant all day about how they picked this color and this font and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And to everyone outside, they're just like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
People just want like a product. And especially in like the entertainment industry, like there's not a big focus on the creation process. There's just always like how to market this,
Mm-hmm.
how to make it a cool thing so people can consume.
Mm-hmm.
And also even in like the more practical side of every industry, like like art is actually quite prevalent in a lot of industries, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's being used in the right way. Like
Okay.
if you think about it, like if you think about artists, you just think about brochures or yeah, like posters or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. You don't think about it as how do you integrate um, visual elements or aesthetics into actual functionality.
Okay.
And like nature is very functional, but it's beautiful to look at, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's a little bit chaotic, but it actually, like to me, you can actually take a lot of nature as an example on how function combines with aesthetics. Like think about a leaf, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the leaf has so many different veins that
Mm-hmm.
needs to access like different cells in the leaf, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's branched out in like this cool way. But we don't design houses that way. We don't design roads that way, because the city is conveniently sectioned into
Yes.
like blocks,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which causes like congestion because it's it's
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily the most natural way of like flow.
Mm-hmm.
So the way okay, this is a very wordy purpose, but I want to just educate people on why it's important to pursue their passions,
Okay.
and I want to educate people on the importance of art and how you can marry functionality, science, and art, like in equal parts of importance. I don't think like art is something, it's just like a pretty wrapper you stick on things. I think there's something bigger to it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Michelle, can you just let us know where we can find you on Twitch, social media, and just maybe some upcoming projects you might have?
Yeah, not anything big upcoming projects aside from the fact that I just recently started a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm just remember to
I'll be sure
link
to link
in
that. Yeah, send that to
that.
me.
There's just one video on it right now, so we'll work on that. You can find me on Twitch. It's called which name did I use? Fang Bunny. And then I have Twitter and Instagram as well. The Instagram's like where I have most of like the pretty drawings. Then Twitter is for stream of consciousness sketches.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anything cool I find on the internet, it's on there. But yeah, I'm,
Okay.
I'm most prevalent on Twitch, because that's what I kind of look at as like a productivity slash hanging out thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So uh, I stream like during the day Pacific time.
Great, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a ton of fun hearing your stories, learning more about you, and I hope you got more fans from from this
I
episode
appreciate
because
it.
yeah, no
Thank
problem.
you.
Like I said, Michelle's super chill, a great artist, and you should definitely check out her on social media. Watch her on Twitch, YouTube channel. Just yeah, support her.
Okay, thank you, Spencer.
Yeah, no,
It was a really fun podcast. Yeah.
awesome. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next video.
Bye.